everyone. Thanks for watching Access Hockey MI, and welcome to the official start of Draft 2022 coverage for the NHL. We, over the next couple of weeks, are going to be... Next couple.
Next
while. You wish. The next few weeks to plus beyond.
2 weeks and some. It's like 2 weeks and a long day.
Yeah, the next while are going to be talking about probably, for right now, the top 10 in the prospect pool for the draft of 2022 for the NHL. So today we're going to talk about number 1 and number 2 respectively, and that would be Shane Wright and then Logan Cooley. So both those guys, Shane Wright is number 1 right now, and Logan Cooley number 2 in almost every draft thing that I look at. Mm-hmm. So everywhere else, everything else just kind of fluctuates based on who thinks who's going where, but these two are very consistently 1 and 2.
Yes.
So we are going to talk about them today, and of course, the Red Wings aren't going to get these guys. That is certain. But we're going to go over basically all the guys before and after and that we could get. So here are these 2 guys, and
two dudes.
Let's get going.
Yes. So Shane Wright, both these guys are 18 years old. Shane is Shane. I'm not going to go by his first name. Wright. It's sick. I'm sorry.
Right. Too far. It's too personal. I don't know you.
Wright is a center. He's right now at about 6'1", 187 pounds. He's a right-handed shot. These things are important because we haven't had the NHL Combine yet. These are stats from the beginning of the 2021-22 season. So those will change after the Combine, which happens just before the draft. So, side note. He played all of last season with Kingston in the OHL, which is an elite junior team, major junior team in Canada. Mm-hmm. He had 94 points in 63 games.
It is kind of a fun fact to note that he was drafted in the USHL by the Chicago Steel, who is very good at drafting.
Yeah.
So I mean, you can kind of tell how they pick guys out based on the fact that this guy's now number 1 overall in the world. And he was supposed to play with the Steel, but instead was taken by the OHL.
Part of me is kind of glad he didn't, because they probably
But then we could have seen him more.
Yeah, that's
I mean,
true.
it would have been fun, because then I'd have pictures of him, too.
Yeah. You can just imagine a picture right here.
Anyway, so of course, when you are looking at a draft list, when you're looking at guys who are going to go to NHL teams for the entry draft, you're going to look at skating, you're going to look at puck handling, you're going to look at size, you're going to look at ability. So skating, we're going to talk about number 1 for Wright. And he is, from what we've seen in video and from all the scouting reports we've read, he's a very efficient skater and considered above average, if you will. So he's not... I don't want to ruffle feathers, but we haven't seen that he's an elite skater as far as put him in the NHL now and you won't be able to tell the difference. But he's above average to where he can deke, he can skate ahead, he can do what he needs to do to get in front or behind defensemen rather. But he's not considered an elite skater.
Yeah. So, I mean, if you think about it, a lot of these guys too, again, they have room to grow, obviously.
Of course, everyone knows this.
Yeah, they're not quite there yet. But being that he is an above average skater, it's not a knock on him whatsoever. No. He has excellent speed and very good acceleration. So once he gets going, he literally blows just past everybody.
Yeah.
So he does have a really good skill set and very strong legs from what we saw, which is obviously great, especially to start out. Even if he doesn't go right to the NHL, that's an amazing foundation to build on. You need that speed. As soon as you hit the NHL, if you're not fast enough, you can forget it. You're going to be bench warming or go back go to the AHL. So those are some things about his skating that I think you're going to find similar with all the top 10 guys. They're going to have very similar, I guess, what would you call that? Not facets, but similar qualities. That's what I was looking for.
I'm not sure what you're going to call that.
Similar qualities. So above average. But as far as his shooting and puck handling, that's kind of where his more elite status comes in.
And I would say where he might differ a little bit more from Cooley than the other areas, the other qualities, as Rachel would say. So the shooting and handling, of course, very good at both. What we've noticed about Wright right away is that he doesn't crowd the net. In almost every highlight reel you see of him scoring or making a pass, first of all, he passes a lot. So he actually has more assists. It's not too surprising. He has more assists than he has goals. He seems to be more of an assist kind of prospect,
like
if
a
you
playmaker
will.
kind of
And I think Rachel mentioned that if he goes number 1, he will be the lowest scoring number 1 draft pick. And I don't know how long. Did you say how long?
I want to say the stat that I read, I'll look it up and we can do a little bubble later, but it was like 26. He's ranked 26 in scoring and puck proficiency right now. So he would be the lowest first ever.
So he's
drafted.
not score first. He's more pass first.
Yeah.
So that kind of goes along with the not crowding the net. So if he stays kind of removed from it, almost to the point where he gives himself the opportunity to make a play before trying to make the goal.
Yeah, he's the guy on the outside.
He kind of hovers. Yeah, and as a center, that's what you're supposed to do. You're ideally supposed to be able to see when you're supposed to score and when you're supposed to make a play to then have someone else score.
It's a big gap to fill.
So I do think that shows hockey IQ and hockey sense for him to be able to hover a little bit and give himself the opportunity to pass before trying to make a goal and maybe lose possession and turn over the puck.
Yeah, it shows patience with it, too.
Yeah.
And another thing with Wright, just to kind of summarize him as well, a stat that's really, really cool to look at with these young players is their face-offs. That's one thing that as you go through the pros, you will see an increased, view or kind of under the microscope. Importance, of the face-offs, because wherever you're at, those face-offs could make or break an entire play or game for you. Yeah. Where he is like at 50% face-off efficiency, where it doesn't sound like a lot if you really don't know the importance of it, but that's incredible. That's really, really good, and that just shows that he has the ability to get his body into it and the accuracy and the confidence to do so. And those centermen, that's a lot of what they spend their time doing is face-offs. Yeah. So that's again, just like his skating, another really good foundational piece to go off of.
Yeah, so piggybacking on that would be Logan Cooley, who's currently ranked number 2 in the overall standings. He just turned 18. He's a center. He's a left shot, 5'10", 174 pounds. Again, all before the combine where they kind of...
We should just put that all in quotes.
He is this much of these things.
Yeah, right.
So we know Cooley a little bit more than we know Shane Wright, just based on the fact that he played with the USA development team, the under-18 development team in the USHL.
We love them.
So the U18s are most notably... They play in the USHL and they also mostly play in the college league. So they play college age guys, they play college size guys, and they also go and play the USHL guys. They don't participate in their playoffs or anything like that. So I don't know if it's more like a benchmarker for these teams to be like, hey, how you measure up?
Yeah.
But we see a lot of U18 action. So we have seen Cooley time and again, and he's usually a pain in our side. So he has 75 points in 51 games played, and he was promoted from the U17s. It's usually how it works. U17s, if you're good enough, you want to be a U18, basically. Right. If you're a U17, your goal is to get to the next rung of the ladder, to get to the next step of your career.
There's
and all that stuff.
A major maturity difference between the two from what we've seen.
Yes, for sure. And skill level.
Yeah, exactly. The U17s, I think they
fit more with USHL than the U18s.
Yeah, they kind of want to draw blood. The U18s are kind of
they're like a finesse.
Yeah,
they're a finesse kind of like, let's see what I'll show you what I can do. That kind of thing.
Show these kids how it's done.
Yeah, well,
that's what we do in college.
Yeah,
but so the 51 games played, that was with the U18s after his promotion. So he started the season with the U17s, and so he was able to tack on 75 additional points in the season, not to mention his U17s. Yeah. So obviously he's a scorer. He has a lot of assists in there too, which is kind of normal.
Yeah.
He has, as far as his skating, he has explosive acceleration, where Wright is very gradual, but once he gets that speed, he's just off for the races. Yeah. Whereas Cooley, it's just like out of a rocket. Like it's very, very quick. His footwork is very quick, which again is excellent, especially because he's spent a lot of time on the special teams, and that's very critical in that situation.
Both these guys will probably be special teams focus. I would imagine when drafted, these guys are going to be special teams,
especially as centermen. And he is a little smaller, at least from his last. We'll put that again in quotes. His last sizing or weighing, not sizing. He has good body control. So even if he's getting just completely lambasted by bigger dudes, he's able to physically skate and outmaneuver them and use what he does have his body against it.
And on the other side, where Shane Wright was more of a floater, kind of shooting from far away from the net, Logan Cooley likes to get close to the net, and he likes to take risky plays, and he likes to make risky passes and scoring opportunities. He likes to create those chances. He likes to be the one that scores. As far as that's kind of what you see when he plays. He's not told me that. I've not talked to Logan.
I would imagine he would agree. Probably.
I would think they all want to score, and they all like to score. Yeah. He likes to stay right circle, as Rachel noticed when she saw a breakdown of where all his goals tend to be. It's fascinating. So again, both these guys scorers, both these guys very handy with the puck. The difference being we kind of see Wright as a floater, and we would see Cooley as more net front.
Kind of in the business.
Wants to be the one to score, kind of making those risky plays to get the goal.
I would say that's kind of the attitude almost of
U18s.
U18s.
They all want the goal. And you know what? most of the time they can all get the goal.
Exactly. And so I'm surprised not all of them have like 100 points in a season.
Yeah,
but he is definitely that right circle. That's where he wants to be.
Yeah.
He rarely goes low with his shots. He likes to take those top corners, which it does show that riskiness, but it also shows a lot of confidence in his own accuracy and ability. And those are the areas where if you can get that goalie low, that's where the top shelf is where it's at. As one guy said, where it cheeses it, I think is how he described it. Which
you might know, just a little side note, you might know Shane Wright's name based on the World Junior Championship where they did win gold. Canada won gold? Canada won gold. He got 14 points in 9 games, something like that.
Skated away with 47 awards.
I mean, that kind of stuff speaks for itself. So why don't you talk about the face-off for Cooley?
So Cooley also, much like Wright, has a very good face-off percentage. Again, he's a centerman, so that's something that he's going to be really heavily focused on. I think it's something, Taylor, you know how, sorry, just to interject again. Whenever we go to the Traverse City training camp, you see the specific positions get trained on their specific things that they need. As far as defensemen, the back skating is very important. You see them working that to death. You see the goaltenders constantly doing circle work. Constantly. You see the forwards working on acceleration and one-on-one battles. You see centermen doing face-offs. That would be one of those. That's just the thing. They spend hours a day just doing face-offs.
Centermen or any forward, exactly. Throw any guy in there.
You guys all need to know how to do face-offs. But he also has an excellent face-off percentage, hovering around the 50%. Of course, that range is based on where he was in U17s versus U18s. But again, just like Wright, that's a level where they're pretty much equal, and that's something that teams that are going to be picking first and second will want. They will want players who can get that puck to them immediately off the draw.
Very important. It's in certain scenarios, it can be a make or break time. When you need to get possession and you need to turn a game around very quickly, that's something you put in your best face-off guy.
It's one of the times I feel like if it's really obvious, the crowd can go, oh, because they know we needed it.
And if you guys are ever curious, if you go on the NHL app, if you want to look at this per game, you can actually go to the game flow and you can see what guys are winning, what percentage of face-offs in that game. I find that very entertaining.
It's also fascinating.
Just kind of a side note. If you ever, I like looking at the breakdown like that. But something to note about Logan Cooley is he's actually, as of now, committed to the NCAA. I believe it was Minnesota.
It was Minnesota.
Yes. So he's committed, but who knows what will happen if he's drafted, when he's drafted. So, he is currently committed, according to Elite Prospects. So, that would be the one notable thing about Cooley. There's nothing about Wright being committed anywhere. No. I'm sure he's just waiting for whatever team he picks.
He's banking on being number one.
Yeah. So, overall thoughts. Either one of these guys, of course, would be a great pick for any team. I think I do see Shane Wright going first. If there is a battle between the 1 and 2. Right. I don't think those are ever solid until the day of, No. So I would see, of the two, I prefer Shane Wright.
Yeah, I would say just because I've seen Cooley a little bit more, Cooley I think is still going to go second. But I'm saying Shane.
Are you disagreeing with me right now?
I'm not disagreeing. I'm just saying Cooley I think would be a really good fit long term from what I've seen. I think Wright will be too. Yeah. But I see Cooley's his demeanor and his attitude growing into more of a chippy fighter. NHL caliber. It is chippy, I feel like the direction, USA. Yeah, they have a certain demeanor and attitude. We love it. We joke about the cage being on for now, and once that's gone, we'll see how that stands.
Yeah, we'll see how they defend themselves.
Both between the two of them, they're both pretty equal as far as talent goes.
Yeah, very exciting to see them both at the top. I'm looking forward to seeing who goes first. Both of these guys have a lot of confidence. Just to kind of wrap this up, they both, of course, have a lot of confidence. They are where they are for a reason, and they've gotten there with their hard work and their tenacity for the game. And I think that is just going to show in a draft, and I'm excited to see it come back again and in person, and that will just be
it's gonna be nice.
Fantastic to watch. So let us know in the comments what you think about these first two guys, and of course keep in mind going forward we're going to be talking about the next guys following, and eventually once we get around to the guys, we're not trying to keep you in suspense. Once we get around to the guys that we think we might get on the Red Wings, then we'll do a whole dedicated video based on that.
Who we want. Yeah. And also if you don't like the video, you have to leave a concise comment.
You need to tell us why. I disliked this because of this.
Yeah, concise.
And if it's because of Rachel's shirt,
wow,
and the plaid, we just
can't believe it.
How dare you?
Judge me.
But thanks so much again for watching. Please like and subscribe and share this with all your friends. I think I hear people say click the notification bell so you know when our videos come up.
Yeah, there you go.
I've seen that on things I watch. I'm like, I should say that too.
I feel like I should have noticed that if it's on videos.
Anyway, so yeah, let us know in the comments what you think. And thank you so much for watching. We appreciate it. And we will see you guys next time. Bye, guys.